Hi, I'm Satsu5, and this is my video review over the Tao of Jeet Kune by Bruce Lee. I'm not a book reviewer, so I'm kind of out of my comfort zone, but hopefully you can learn something from it. I highly recommend this book for anybody who's interested in martial arts. And, well, let's get started. First of all, I would like to mention that this book was made up after, if I understood everything right, it was made up after Bruce Lee died, and it was completely made up of his own quotes, notes that he jotted down when he was studying martial arts, and drawings. And Linda Lee, Dan Innocento, and a lot of his close friends and students kind of combined all together all of his teachings and notes and drawings and quotes into this book. And so I want to read a few quotes to you and explain the best I can what this book is all about. And I told you before in my other videos that I believe that Jeet Kune isn't necessarily a style, it's a philosophy. To me, you can have a heavy background in karate or kung fu, and you can still benefit from Jeet Kune. Well, let's get started. A few quotes that, also, to let you know, this isn't necessarily a how-to book. This is more of a philosophy/strategy book. It's the thinking, the martial arts thought process. It's strategy and martial philosophy. And that's why I'm going to read some of your quotes so you can kind of get where Bruce Lee's coming from. Kind of get to know him a little bit better, and see if you might be interested in this book, because it's just chock full of all kinds of information. Like, for instance, for all of my viewers who don't study martial arts and aren't very familiar with the terminology, natural weapons are weapons that are God-given. You're born with them. Hands, feet, legs, knees, head, teeth, elbows, anything that is your body that you can use as a weapon is your natural weapons. Tools, your natural weapons, have double purpose. One, to destroy the opponent in front of you, annihilate of things that stand in the way of peace, justice, and humility. Two, to destroy your own impulses caused by the instincts of self-preservation, to destroy anything bothering your mind, not to hurt anyone, but to overcome your own greed, anger, and folly. Jeet Kune is directed towards oneself. And so basically what he's saying here, Jeet Kune, or I consider this with all martial arts, is not made for the sole purpose of holding another human being. It's made for the defense of others and the defense of yourself from yourself, if that makes any sense to you. Here's something that you can kind of relate to sparring. Sparring is a practice fight. To know oneself is to study oneself in action with the other person. And then this is probably one of his most famous quotes. This is referring to how a fighter should be. What is the goal of the martial artist? I'll just read the quote to you, see if you can understand it. It's hard for me to explain, but I understand what he's coming from. Because I've sparred before. I know I've been in these tournaments, and I can relate. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. If you put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Don't be tense, but ready. Not thinking, but not dreaming. Not being set on being not being set, but being flexible. It is being my dyslexia is messing with me. It's getting hard to read that one. I skipped that word. Quietly alive, aware, and alert. Be ready for whatever may come. And basically, what he's saying is, in a fight, you should be fluid. You should not be rigid. You should not you should not have these jerky, unfluid-like movements. And he references to waddle. Waddle can conform to any situation. Waddle can become different things by being put in different cups. It can become different shapes. It can be formless. It can be in the shape of a bottle. And he's kind of referring to, if you're in a fight and you get knocked down in the fight and the fight goes to the ground, you need to be able to conform to that scenario. If it's a stand-up fight, you need to be able to conform to that scenario. You should not be so jittery where you're moving like a robot. You should move smoothly and fluid-like. And he continues to talk about, don't think too much in the fight. Don't sit there and go, I'm going to do a outside crescent kick followed up by a butterfly kick and a backhand strike, and then by the time you get the thought process, the guy's changed his position, is now on top of you. He also says, if you feel there's an opening, then let fly. There's a bunch of other great quotes in here. And the cool thing about this book, I think I mentioned in a past video that he suffered from a pretty bad injury. I believe it was a back injury, and he was stuck in bed for a while. And since he couldn't actually practice martial arts, he got every book he whatever could get his hands on martial arts. And when he wrote down his notes and his quotes, he wrote them like he was explaining it to a student. He might say something, your strike should be felt before it's seen, like a cobra. That I actually said that backwards. Like a cobra, your strike should be felt before it's seen. That is actually one of his quotes. And he writes this book like he's explaining something to you in person as a student. Like, here it is, I think. Yeah, there it is, my bookmark. Here's another quote. See, a lot of action movies today have martial arts in it, and it's a lot of show. It's a lot of flips and twists, and like the Matrix. But it's not really what martial arts is about, for as actual fighting, self-defense, war, and discipline. It's about looking good, which you can't blame them. It's the movies; they want to look good. But Bruce Lee says, approach Jeet Kune Do with the ideal of mastering it, and the will. Forget about winning and losing. Forget about pride, pain. Let your opponent graze your skin, and you smash into his flesh. Let him smash into your flesh, then you fracture his bone. Let him fracture your bone, you take his life. Do not be concerned with your escaping safely. Lay your life before him. And that's pretty deep stuff right there. And basically what he's saying is, you're going to get hurt in a fight. No one can be in a fight and not expect to come out with a scrape, a cut. You know, it's kind of like the saying in that some knife fighters use: if you're going to get in a knife fight, expect to be cut. If you flip a butterfly knife, expect to be cut. If you play with matches, you're going to get burnt. It's kind of along those lines, but it's kind of on a different level. And basically, it's almost like I can see the Japanese influence on this, because when Japanese samurai went to war, they did not care if they died or not. In fact, death was something they kind of looked forward to. They looked forward to a beautiful death. To them, they would rather be cut down in war than die of old age. So I can see kind of the Japanese influence on this. I'm pretty sure he read the Book of Five Rings, and I wanted to point that quote out. A lot of these really speak to the heart of martial artists. As you can see right here, these are his original drawings. No, not his original, but they're copies of his original drawings. And you know, it's just awesome. It's an awesome book. I know I'm probably rambling and it's boring, and you know, it's probably not as fun as some of the other videos that I've done, but this is seriously an awesome book. Anyways, this is the Tale of Jeet Kune, and it is a book of strategy and philosophy. It's not going to teach you how to, you know, kill a man in a single blow. It's not going to teach you Chinese Kung Fu. It's not going to teach you American boxing. It's not going to teach you karate. It's going to teach you how to be a well-rounded and intellectual fighter. And this is probably the most recommended book for any martial artist to read. I'm Asatsu5, and I am out. Hope you enjoyed.